Dear students, welcome to CHIPS, Charts and Instruments in Pathology for Students. The instruments that I'm going to deal with in this session will be the tissue cassette, L mold and wax block. All of these are important spotters as well as the source of questions in the Viva. Also, it can be kept in the practical examination for description. Kindly follow. Normally, during tissue processing after surgery, the following steps are to be met with. One is fixation, the other is clearing, dehydration, impregnation, and embedding. And the reagents are given by the site. Please memorize this particular list. After the process, it is subject to section cutting by means of an instrument called the microtome, and the sections are finally stained with hematoxylin and eosin. The mounting is done by means of DPX using a cover strip. Please by heart this particular list. The first instrument here is the tissue capsule or cassette. This is one. It appears very simple but of paramount importance. I find that it is a plastic or it can be a metal container which is porous, which has got multiple round or slit-like spaces. So part of the tissue is kept within the capsule and it is labeled. And once it is closed, it will not open that easily. This is important because a lot of tissues will be processed and they are put in various containers. They have to go through it, and hence there should not be any mix up of the tissue, or important tissue should not be lost either. This is a tissue capsule. See, there are multiple fine holes and the tissue is kept inside. There is a pencil marking on a paper which is kept along with, and it is closed. It will not open that easily and the tissue will not be lost. There is a well-fitting lid over here. And as mentioned in the previous slide, these are the series of reagents through which the capsule along with the tissue should pass through. Impregnation. Normally you find a tissue is somewhat like this. This is a slice of bread in which I am finding multiple holes. Please imagine when you try to cut a bread, it collapses under the weight of the knife. Similarly, the tissue also will collapse and get damaged. In order to prevent it, what we do is we plug in all these holes by means of wax, and that process is called as impregnation. This makes the tissue more solid. This is the next instrument. It is important. Let us see. Leucard's L piece. Each of these is in the shape of L, hence it is called an L piece or an L mold. Normally, the advantage of L is you can create squares or rectangles of varying sizes depending on the size of the tissue. A piece of tissue is generally kept inside and then these are altered, and it creates a airtight or a watertight container, and when you pour molten paraffin wax inside it, it is retained. So it is made up of brass or it can be made up of aluminum either. It facilitates to change the size of the block, and beneath that I am finding a flat glass so that an even surface is maintained, and this is called embedding. Look at this one. There are two L pieces and then they are put together. I am seeing a watertight container. There is a tissue over here and molten paraffin wax is poured, after which it becomes solid and it can be taken for cutting. This is the third instrument, not instrument or a spotter that can be kept along with. So this is a piece of tissue that is surrounded by solidified wax, and this is the surface that is holding the wax. This can be fixed onto an instrument called the microtome, and it is used for section cutting. Normally we put a number by the side so that it is not lost. The tissue can be preserved for several months or sometimes years also. Look at this one. Another wax block is over here, and this is the block holder. And this block holder is fixed onto it. This instrument here is a microtome. And this is the knife of it. And when the block moves up and down, the sections are being cut. The name of the instrument is the microtome, and this is a tissue block, and this is a block holder. See you in tips 6.